Welcome back. We have a new series here. We have a speed run account where we're going to be lurking in the lower elo ranges, and maybe we can find out why some of you guys are stuck there. So let's find out what some of the common mistakes are at these lower levels. I won't be playing any theory because that wouldn't be really that fair. We're just going to play based off of the opening principles. So we got e4, e5. Now, I'm a Vienna guy. But for this, we're going to play knight to f3. Oh my gosh. Why? Why did they play this so quickly? We're going to take that because why are you moving in less than a second? What? Okay. Great start. So, if you're making moves like this extremely quickly, stop it. That is probably your first mistake. Losing the game on move 2. There it is. All right. All right, so we have e4. Now, typically, I'm a Caro Con player, but we're going to play e4, e5, and let's see what my opponent has for us. So, we just want... Why are people bringing the queens out like this? Is this really how 400 elo chess is? Okay, a big key here. What are they threatening? The queen comes out. What is the queen attacking? Well, it's attacking this pawn with check. So if I go here, attacking the queen, we lose the pawn. So we need to play... What? This is how you punish low elo chess. So the queen comes out and you just go here, protecting the pawn, and then they're probably going to go here, trying to checkmate you. So let's hope the analysis will let me. So they go here. We're going to play knight here, and they're going to go for the typical scholars. But now we don't want to do this, attacking the queen, because this is exactly what they're hoping for. So what we need to do is just kick the queen. And then the queen's going to go here, and then we can just play knight f6. And now there's no threat. They've moved the queen a bunch, and we can jump the knight in at some point and attack the queen again, threatening a fork, etc. We just have a much better position than they do. So I don't know why he resigned after 2 moves, but okay. We got another match, Nike e4, e5. And they just go d3. This is reasonable, but I wouldn't play it just because it's blocking your bishop. So typically we go knights before bishops, so let's go knight f6. And now they just play knight f3. This makes sense. What are they doing? They're attacking my pawn. So we have to protect it in some way. So I think we can just develop the other knight, protecting the pawn. Don't see why not. Okay, so they go c3. It looks like they want to play for d4. But in this position, they can't do that because of this. So I was looking at this move, and if they go here, takes, we're attacking twice, but they're defending twice, so that won't work out. We could just stay solid. We could play bishop e7 and try to castle as soon as possible. Because once again, if they push, we can just take. That could get a little bit tricky, though. Then they can push. I don't know if I love that. Push takes, and then we could take the pawn. Maybe still this. Let's just play bishop e7. Okay, now they're going for d4. So we could take, but then they push. I can also just take the pawn. Takes, and then takes here. It looks like a free pawn to me, but I'm a little bit worried about this move. Because where does the knight go? I could also protect it, but I don't really think we should do that. Yeah, I mean, we don't really have much control of the center, which really sucks. They're threatening the pawn now. So let's go ahead and take it. If I go here, they'll push through. I don't know why I can't take the pawn. They go here. Honestly, we can probably just go back. Let's take the pawn. It's a free pawn. So it's exactly what they were hoping for. But I think I can just go back. I don't know if I want to go here. Maybe it's not bad. But my knight feels a little bit loose there. So let's just go knight b8. You don't really want to play moves like this, but... And now, if they try to go here, there's not a pin. So we can just go back. And then if they push here, we can just take it. It doubles our pawns. So my opponent gave us a free pawn to be able to push the pawn. That is what happened here. Now, what does this move do? It is attacking the knight, so we must protect the knight. We could play f5, but it's a little too much. I also have this check, which is kind of interesting. Because if they block, I can trade off that knight. And then takes. And then we could go for another check, maybe. And it kind of frees up our position a little bit. Of course, if they go here, we could just take. Or I could go knight back, attacking the pawn. Let's just go back. Okay, they developed the knight. They're protecting the pawn. Makes a lot of sense. So if I go here, it does open up some checks, but then we can just go like this. I think I want to play d6 because I don't want to allow them to push the pawn at some point. I feel like that could just be bad for us. And if we get our pieces out, that pawn's going to be pretty weak. Okay, they're going there. I think we can just castle. There's no Greek gift. There's no threat. The knight is always protecting this. Okay. So they're hopping the knight in. They're attacking this once more. So I think I need to play g6. And now we are not... Well, actually, wait a minute. Oh my gosh, I think my opponent might have blundered here. Because if I take, knight takes, we can take here. But also we could just go here, castles. No, that's not really that great. Okay, what else does that do? I think I can just take the pawn. I take, they take. I take, is there any other move that they have? I don't think so. I think this is just a free pawn. So let's go ahead and take. Because we're double attacking this, and it's only protected once. So we can go ahead and take that. And this check is protected. And of course, after takes, they do have this check. But then we can just move. Okay, they decide to play that, but that is actually a terrible move because we can ignore the threat on the bishop. And notice the alignment of their queen and king. We can go ahead and pin the queen to the king. We will be winning that potentially. Now, if I go here and they play this, I have this move. If I go here and they go check, we can just take it. So I think we can just go here. I think this is a nice little move. Okay, so they go for this. So yeah, once again, we can ignore the threat and we can just add pressure to the pinned piece. So this is a very common thing. If there's something pinned to another piece, so the bishop is pinned to the queen, we can put pressure on that. And yeah, bishop here, it looks like they can take, but then they lose the knight, or the queen. This is actually a good move. So if I were to take, they take here, but then we can push the pawn. So no matter what, they're going to lose a piece. So let's go ahead and take. And then we can just go ahead and push the pawn. If they take here, we take here, pinning. They have checks, but we can just take. So my opponent did not prioritize castling, and it's really causing them the game right now. It looked like they had a good, initiative when they played queen here and had that pawn down here and all that stuff, but they really should have castled. Okay, so my opponent decides to move the queen up, but this actually doesn't stop anything because after rook takes e4, they're not threatening to take anything. So this was just a wasted move. They definitely should have just probably moved the queen out of the way so that they just lose a piece, because now they're losing the queen as well after rook e4. We might see my opponent resign. Yeah, this game really showcases why you need to get your king out of the center of the board. Because I think my opponent was doing pretty good. Like, this looks so passive for black. Like, I have almost no development, and I have to go back with the knight. Or we were looking at that check line to trade it off, but we'll see what the engine says afterwards. But this position doesn't look very nice. Okay, so they go back. This is, once again, this is just a useless move. So now we can just like go check, force the king to move again. And then we can save the bishop. Alright, they go there. We could give a check, but then they go here. No need for that. I think we're going to go ahead and give another check here. They probably should have just blocked. And then I was going to push the pawn. But they're coming closer and closer and closer. So let's see. Let's go ahead and save the bishop now. And they attack. But now we can just hit the bishop. So this is just a one move threat. I mean, they attack the queen, but what am I going to do? Well, we're going to play here. Okay, but now we can just move out of the way with a check. That's why looking for checks is always so important, even though this pawn's protected by the bishop as well. Going here was the worst choice because now I take the bishop with check, and then they can't take the pawn. So definitely shouldn't have done that. And now, simply, I think we're just going to finish development, get the rook involved. Rook here. Once again, just checks. I'm assuming that they're going to play this. Yeah. Let's not do anything fancy. Let's just go here. If they do this, we take the pawn with check. Check, and then we can just trade this off. And we're just simply winning. We're up a gazillion material. But my opponent wants to play on. Okay, so can we even go here or just threaten mate? We could probably just do this. If I go here, there's this. Then check. Here and checkmate. Okay, so they have to sacrifice the rook. Here. And it'll lead to checkmate. Check. Has to go to the corner, and then boom. We win the game. Okay, I guess they do have that, don't they? I thought, I kind of missed this move, admittedly. Anyways, we have this check, and then we're going to pick up the other rook. Okay, but now this is checkmate. In one move. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. I'm a little bit curious about that opening. I don't think it was really greatly played by me, to be honest. But I mean, this is all principled. Okay, bishop e7 is book. They push. Taking is the best way. And we're supposed to take. Okay, so honestly, I thought that, you know, we were not doing that great. Okay, but there's some engine line here, apparently. We're supposed to just attack this. If they take, the point is that we can do this. That makes a lot of sense. Now, if you're actually prepped in these openings, you definitely would know that after d5, that going back is usually not the right move. But I didn't see this concept, to be honest. And maybe if I played the opening more, then maybe I would have known about this idea, but you know, I'm not too upset about it. So we're not doing anything fancy. We just are controlling the center, developing our pieces, And then, you know, we were asked a question here. We have to do something, right? And it's good to note that we probably shouldn't take this first. It's probably not that bad, but then, you know, we're allowing them to take, or they can push through immediately. Once again, you have to know this idea, which isn't that hard of an idea, but I just wasn't focused on it. Anyways, we took the free pawn, went back, and then, okay, retreating is the right idea. This is the other thing I was looking at. And then whatever they blocked with, I was just going to take. So if they went here, I was just going to take. Oh, they wouldn't do that. Well, you never know with this yellow, apparently. And then we would just retreat or go back. Anyways, we decided on that, and then we play d6. We didn't really want to have any kind of future prospects for them of playing d6 themselves, so couldn't hurt. And now they play here, just castle, there's no threat. And, okay, so apparently we can go here, which makes sense because, you know, now the knight's attacked. If they do this, we don't take, sorry. If we take, there's mate. We can just go here. And they're actually just lost. No, they're not. Once again, we can't take. Why is this so good for black? 96, and then we're going to try and attack this. But anyways, g6, I mean, it weakens our dark squares, but I thought it was okay. And then this was kind of where they started to go wrong, because for one, we have this tactic of knight takes d5. After a little bit of calculation, this isn't too hard to see. You know, knight takes d5, opening up an attack on the knight. This is called a discovered attack. But also, they haven't castled yet. And this is a huge issue, especially when you're going to leave your queen in front of the king. Because as we saw in the game, we have this rook e8 idea. And unfortunately, my opponent misses it. Now, they could have just, you know, did anything else. They could have probably just took. But even taking doesn't seem that great. The computer says take here, and the idea is that they're deflecting me away. But they go for this, they attack. It's just a one-move threat. They missed the other idea. And then it gets even worse because, you know, they have to kind of accept here that they made a mistake. But, oh, wait a minute. They have knight here. And then we can take. But it's still bad because they're still going to lose an entire piece, aren't they? Queen g5. It's not so simple. We are going to just keep putting pressure on the pin piece, though. Okay, so anyways, they went forward. And this is a mistake, apparently. Oh, wow. We were supposed to go check. I did see this check, but I thought that after check, they would just go this, like this. Interesting. So this is a mistake, but only because they can take. What happens after this? Then they can block. Oh. Or knight f6 check. Picking this up. Oh. So you have to sack the queen. Because if they take, then you take here. Oh my gosh. This was pretty tactical. And I missed some stuff. But yeah, we had this nice d5 move. And then it's just saying move the bishop, but I mean, I didn't really care. I knew I was winning. I had so much material up. And then, yeah, this way, we just try to convert. I don't think we did it in the most efficient way. Nope. But they walked into a quicker checkmate, apparently. All right, let's play one more. Stop. Okay, if you're at this level, stop resigning. Okay, now let's play knight c3 this time. All right, they go here. We're going to play bishop out. Yeah, don't resign so early. Oh, wow. Okay, they're playing principled. 2 knights. Let's go. All right, so let's go d3. Protect everything. All right, they play a6. What does this do? It might be preparing something like this. Might be preparing something like that, but maybe we'll just go knight f3. Keep it principled. Yeah, they're pushing their pawns, but we can just slide back. If they try to trap us, we'll just make room. No big deal. Oh, wow. What does that do? Okay, knight to b4. Hits this pawn, but honestly, we can just go a3, and then they have to go right back. So let's go ahead and play a3. This is another thing. It looks nice. Jump the knight into the position. But, yeah, they just wasted a move, and I wanted to play a3 at some point anyways to make room for the bishop. So, yeah. Also, going here just blundered the pawn. I completely missed that. Yeah. What can I say? Let's just go ahead and castle. All right. So they bring out the bishop. I want to play for the center, right? So if I were to play bishop e3 and takes, I'm preparing to play this. And if takes, knight takes, queen takes, I'd be pretty happy with that. And it's going to let me finish my development. So let's go ahead and play bishop e3. And if they do this, we probably just take. Okay, so they decide to take. Typically, this doubling your pawns isn't really what you want to do, but in this case, it allows me to play for d4, which I just talked about wanting to play for the center. Okay, so they castle. I think I can go ahead and play d4. If I play d4, what are they going to do? They can take, but then I take. And if they take, we're happy. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, what we don't want to do is take this pawn and triple our pawns. And now look at our pawns. We're controlling so much of the center. All right, so we got another knight move. Now this time, it actually is threatening something. We need to be careful. So the knight goes here, and it has a potential to fork us on this square. So we should deal with that. So I could move the queen up. We need to be protecting this, kind of ish. Maybe we go queen here, so there's no like queen coming in ideas. If I ever move this. Yeah, let's just go ahead and step the queen up. They're opening up their bishop. And now I have a funny move. I could actually probably play queen here, and if takes, we have a lot of pressure on this pawn. I might actually go for that. Yeah, let's go ahead and try to trade the queen. Now, it does lose this pawn in the process. But if queen takes, knight takes, we can take here with check. The king has to move. Oh, wow. So I guess I just take. Yeah, we don't need to really do anything with that. Okay, so the knight moved. It's attacking this pawn, but it's protected. So I could take, and then jump the knight in. That's reasonable. So they didn't want our trade, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then we have 3 attackers. They can go here, but then we would just take. So if they go here, we take, and then we can take a free pawn, which would actually win the knight at the end of that. So that would be a very bad move. That would be a fork. They attack me. However, this is not really that great because I can just take here and we're setting up discovery attacks. While also attacking the rook. So we're going to be winning material here. Most times, if you can take a piece and set up some kind of discovery attack, it's probably the best move. Oh, wow. So we just take here first with check. So they wanted to do like a little intermezzo. I think they were thinking that I would take their knight. But even then, I mean, yeah, this is just a bad move. They took the pawn, thinking that after takes, they can take my knight, but it's actually protected with the rook. But we can actually just take the rook, and there's a discovery attack. So now the king is checked by the bishop, and the bishop must move. And then we can capture. Okay, once again, this is an interesting move. So I can take, and it comes with a check, and we're attacking this. I can take here, and if to take the rook, we have another discovered attack. This time they can take the piece that's checking, but then we would take here. But I think the most simple way is just to take the piece. They have to move, and then we can take the knight. If they take our knight, we can just save the rook. So let's go ahead and give a check. It's the most forcing move. They're going to go here. And yeah, I think we simply can just take. I could also maybe go here, but then they go here. There's not really a need for that. So let's just go ahead and take this. I'll be curious to see what they do. Yeah, so they take here. But they're just simply down a piece. So I'm going to go ahead and take. And then they're going to take ours. And I'll take a pawn. Sorry, they're down 2 pieces. Two whole pieces. Okay, they throw the pawn forward. That doesn't really do anything. We're going to go ahead and give a check. Just improving my piece with check. You can't really go wrong with doing that. And now we're just going to attack the pawn. And if they try to protect it, actually they can't protect it because the bishop here, too strong. And they can't push the pawn because this is a pin. But what I was going to say is if they could do this, then I was just going to jump the knight in. So let's go ahead and take. It'll be checkmate in a few moves. We're going to bring the knight and figure it out. Okay, they're just pushing pawns. Bring the knight in. All right, so they want to give a check. Does that matter? Not really. Do we need to allow it? No. But I think, okay, so we're just completely winning right now. We can actually just go ahead and give a check and simplify down. So if you're up material, this is a great way to make sure that you never really lose based on counterplay. Because this rook could get in, and then maybe they get a pawn somehow here and back rank checkmate you. And now we're just going to simply push, and we're going to make a queen and deliver a checkmate. Okay, they go here, I just go here. And they're completely cooked. No, I'm not doing a bishop and knight checkmate. I don't even think I could do that. So, yeah, I'm threatening main too, because if they take, there's checkmates. Beautiful. All right, let's run through this one real quick. So, yeah, I mean, we have a Vienna, and then they play a6. Nothing wrong with this, but it's kind of slow. And now I do know Vienna theory here, and I know a lot of the ideas of the Vienna, and f4 is definitely one of them. But I wanted to keep it safe because, you know, pushing your f-pawn can be very risky at these levels. That's why I played knight to f3, and they lash out. We can just slide back, and then this is immediately a blunder. However, we didn't punish it the way that we could have with knight takes, but it's still a bad move. You should definitely take a free pawn. I just kind of was like looking over here at how stupid of a move it was and ignored that it blundered a whole pawn. So yeah, anyways, there's that. And we just castle. There's early attacks. You can go knight g5, putting some pressure here. And honestly, that looks like a super duper strong move. But we saw in the other game how important it is to get castled. So before starting big attacks, it can be useful to go ahead and just castle and then try to attack. So they go here. We don't have to do this, but I thought this was a good idea to take, and then play for d4. Apparently we lose a lot of advantage. It's probably because the computer won't take this. Okay, they do. And now we have good control. We just step up with the queen, and all right. So they're supposed to start going after the bishop. But to me, d6 seems very, very logical, opening up their bishop scope. And then this is a blunder. I should have went knight in. But, you know, I don't know why they didn't do this. Okay, they have knight h6. Oh, wow. Knight h6 is actually strong. Interesting. So you gotta find this to be able to defend all of this. We still have an advantage. But they push, we can just take. And then after takes, we take their queen and jump in. And there's no possible way for them to defend this. And then they go here. We can take the rook with check. Discovered check at that. And then, yeah, we just take and take and take. Trade down. And once we got to this position, it's not the most accurate, of course. You know, the computer just wants to go for checkmate here. Which, you know, it's going to involve bringing the rook and the knight's going to come in. But yeah, okay, so if we didn't have any pawns in this position, I would definitely not trade the rooks. But if you're up this much material, it can be pretty good to just trade down, because winning this endgame is much, much easier. As you saw, I literally just pushed the pawn. Like, I did nothing else other than push the pawn and queen. Didn't have to worry about black's threats at all or anything, so. And then, yeah, this was a nice little checkmate in 2. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. But, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. And I hope that you could take some value from these. And I will definitely be doing more in the future at each threshold. This will be the 400. We're going to do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not 10. 1,000. Probably all the way up to like 1,500. If you're struggling to improve and want some help, I have created a school where I am dedicating myself to helping you. In here, we have a community of people who just want to improve at chess. And we're all going to work together to make that happen. In 30 hours from now, we're going to be analyzing games together. In the classroom here, I have already put in the opening principles. This is just going to show you how you can play without any kind of theory. And I'm working on 1 e4, e5 repertoire. I already have the Vienna Gambit in here and the Vienna Copycat. And soon there will be the full repertoire for 1, e4, e5. And as we continue, I will be putting in many more. So my knowledge behind the Caro-Kann, behind any other opening that I can even think of, how to play against the Caro-Kann, against the Scandinavian, against the Sicilian, all of this stuff, I'm going to continuously just be adding in more and more and more value. So if this is something that interests you, make sure you check out the description.